So there are a few like triggers. So one of my favorite triggers that changes the role that I'm playing is if your tank dies. Especially if your tank dies early in a fight. Think about what happens, right? Let's say you're playing King's Row, because King's Row has almost like a standard way to play, right? So think you're playing King's Row and you're on defense and your tank dies first. How do you think the rest of the point plays out? Well, let's theory craft here, right? So it doesn't even matter the heroes, right? We're down a tank. The enemy tank gets to push forward and create loads of space. Their DPS get to take some width and start really minimizing the angles that we can play at. Okay, but we can't realistically pressure them because there's a tank in front of us and we don't have a tank to play behind. Their supports get to move up in a reasonably safe position and just keep their tank alive, who can keep on... Basically, he's absorbing the DPS, right? So it's almost like... Okay, and also, what happens to our team? Well, we have no tank. Our DPS have to move away from the tank who's pushing forward because we're not going to kill them before they can put out serious threat on us. So we start minimizing the angles, and it turns out that the only thing that our DPS can ever shoot at that point is the tank. Our supports have to keep backing off because their DPS have gained like better angles, so the supports get zoned out further back. And what will happen nearly every time is you will lose, right? The enemy team will just push you. So if we just assume that that is like a conclusion, why would we play it out like that? Let's think of the alternative, okay? So we haven't got a tank to heal. The amount of healing that we actually need to do on support is kind of low once we lose our main tank. Players are going to be backing off quite a lot on our team. They're just going to instinctively do it because we lost a tank. So if we don't need as much healing, what can we do? Well, this is a moment when we lose our tank, I immediately fade to the back line. Why? Because, okay, let's see what happens now. I fade through to the enemy backline and I start engaging one of their supports. Their other support comes and heals that other support, right? Because they want to peel for them, keep them alive. Now, there's a timer. Sometimes I get kills, right? But just ignore. Let's assume that I'm not going to get the kill on the enemy supports. There is now a timer in play. How long can I keep those supports occupied for? And what happens while I keep those supports occupied? Well, think about it. The enemy tank is pushing forward. We already discussed this, right? The enemy tank is pushing forward into our DPS who have nothing else to shoot at apart from the enemy tank. But that tank... Jesus, Zaya! As I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted. The enemy tank is pushing forward aggressively because there's no counter tank against them, right? So what then happens is our DPS have nothing to shoot at apart from the enemy tank. So the enemy tank really needs heals because actually there's 2 DPS and probably some supports shooting at the tank. Hey, look, they haven't got heals right now because I'm occupying those supports only temporarily because they will eventually kill me. Let's not assume that I'm going to get the kill. So what ends up happening is our DPS, more often than not, end up killing that tank. And now what happens is we trade the enemy tank for a support. So instead of us being a tank down against the full team in a 4v5, we're now in a 3v4 where there's no tanks in play. We only have 1 healer. They have 2 healers. We have 2 DPS. They have 2 DPS. Right? That's a much more winnable matchup. Okay, that becomes a skill match. Our DPS can deal with that. There's a lot of DPS that basically one-shot. Right? So suddenly your Sojourn can hit railguns because they can actually move out into spaces where they can combat DPS. You've got Ashe, only needs a couple of shots. The fight can be swung and changed really rapidly. So that's a classic example where... And here's the other thing. I will get shouted at for making that play. Every time, because what will happen is our tank dies, they'll see me fade to the back line and die, and they'll be like, Moira, stop DPSing, you've got to heal, because they think that me not healing is why our tank died in the first place. Or they'll think, we lost the fight then because I faded to the back line and wasn't healing our DPS, but we already know how that fight's going to play out. So we try and change the course of the fight by like changing the whole dynamic of what's going to happen to their team. We can't have the 5v4 anymore, right? Where they can just W into us. We need to turn it into a 1v2 and a 3v3.
They are supportive.
And even if that's only temporarily,
now that they have seen what I've become,
it still can allow us to win fights. That's like a classic example where I will try and change the role of my character. I become a flanker. It's not about healing anymore. There's nothing I'm going to be able to do with healing. A tank walking towards us trying to keep 2 DPS alive against a tank, it's not going to work. So why would I stay as a healer anymore?
A taste of poison. You will be renewed.
Alright, well our tank's dead. That wasn't intentional.
They've taken the robot.
Distractions. Hey, look what happened. The enemy tank just died. All that time that I'm alive and tanking for. Is this fight winnable? We lost our tank right at the start. Hey, I tell you what, this fight's a hell of a lot closer than it would have been if we just tried to heal. In fact, I mean, we're pushing the robot. We won the fight. There you go. Classic example of everything I just explained. Now, fair enough, I was responsible that time for our tank dying in the first place. So I made it harder for us. Because I wasn't healing the tank like from the go, but that's due to positional mistakes. Oh wow. Mercy res. I don't think I can stop it now. I haven't got fade there. Or an orb. It's a bad ult, but there's hooks and shit to dodge here. Railguns.
let's move forward.
We're still pushing, but yeah. See, the Doom was looking for value there. He was like, okay, the fight's done, so just push the cart a little bit. It's value that I can obtain. The other value would be in a quicker death, because then that would mean more future value. But in the immediate situation, he decided pushing the cart when I'm low on health is the best. Oh, that's not the door.
I am optimized. The enemy is pushing their barricade. This ends now.
Here's my value.
The robot is in our possession.
I mean, we're not going to get it, right? But
A taste of poison.
my orb returned.
Receive my aid. You could still be of use to me.
It was pushing his body.
Your end is within my reach.
Dynamite? No. Oh, there it is. Oh, it still hits me. Right, we get forward spawns. Ah, rude.
The enemy has the robot.
It's tough. She can get the headshots in, but I mean, it is quite difficult for them.
Great minds are always persecuted.
Right, so we lose the forward spawns. So there's not a huge amount of value in. And we just try and block it anyway, because it can prevent them, but. The hook's coming at some point there, so I can't. Oh shit. At all. Gotta fade the grenade. Ah, okay, he used it. Not getting healing from the orb though. Oh wait, they had...
The robot's pushing our barricade. Land is within my reach.
Oh, I heard people getting hit. See if we can zone. We need it really tight. Oh. Oh. I can't do anything. Torque can win that.
Barricade's moving. Keep up.
It's fine. Distance is key here. It just takes a little bit of thinking. Like I definitely do not have the mechanical skill of a lot of players, top 500 and lower players, right? Oh, nice. I didn't even see that trap. I'm okay with like movement and dodging and stuff like that, but actually there are some players who they do shit that just blows my mind, right? But I am pretty good at looking at the bigger picture, and that carries me through ranks.
Taking the robot. Bothersome.
Kiso, you have 19 deaths. I know she doesn't, I'm just trolling.
I have very good amount of death. It's like enough deaths for me, okay? Even if it's 19, but it's not, but yeah.
Surrender to my will.
Oh, how many deaths do you have? 21? No, fuck, it's me. Wait, what? Why 4?
Only
Why
4
only
deaths,
4?
so pro.
Oh, wow, okay.
Forward spawns, forward spawns. Right, Ash went this way last time.
No, it's not 19, guys. What the fuck? Don't listen to him.
We cannot allow them to take
This is a mistake, by the way, what I'm doing here, but... Oh, not if we've got this many players alive. I expected players on our team to die here.
Holy shit, it's Ash. Holy fuck. They're pushing, by the way.
Yeah. That's the bad
Oh,
thing.
wait, you're dead. Okay, why am I keeping her alive? Maybe we should just die. What was
to
that?
start anew.
And how am I alive for so long?
Oh. I was hoping it was a support pushing the bot. I was, as soon as I saw it was a Roadhog and I used my fade, it was like, shit. Now there's not that much value in blocking the forward spawns there, because even if they kill us all, let's say they do kill us all, they're going to push it past the forward spawn before we actually spawn. Nice. See if you can run the bot here. I don't know if they've got someone on it.
Sip for the parched. Pain is inevitable.
Oh, that hit a corner.
Get in there, Bob.
It's so big to get kills on Mercy there, because Rez is here. She's gonna get like a really long spawn.
Very nice indeed.
The robot is cannot escape me. Let's go. Double. We push them off the robot.
Don't push it more. Nice.
Yep. Oh, nice. I need 2 more.
I need 6 more.